Hello, welcome to the Spider's Web. Remember this fella? We're going to be finishing him off. Fingers crossed we can do a half decent job of him. So, where are we going to start? Well, I think it might be an idea. Let's have a close look at this fella's mouth. The reason I'm saying that is because looking at the actual proper photograph, I can see now there is a tooth. You can see his teeth on the bottom of his bottom jaw. So let us get that done. Let us get that done. And then when that is done, we can continue with other things. Wasn't a very prominent tooth, that, which is why I didn't see it in the first place. There we are. That looks awful. Really does. Never mind. Okay, we can adjust to suit. Go over bits and pieces that we've cocked up like that, so don't worry about it. Okay, so let's get our old favourite Balor Brown out. And get a splattering of that. I think I've got a bit too much there for what we need, but I may mix it in with something else yet to keep it going. And a bit of our beloved Screaming Skull. And with not much in the line of highlighting to do, to be honest, on this. That is it. You know, as I say, we're not doing much, and I've mixed on that paint. So what I'm going to do for that is, or what I'm going to do with that, if you just bear with me a second, because the cap for this paint isn't closing properly, so I just need to remove some of that. And probably need to remove all that inside the lid as well, but yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that later. Okay, so what we can do then is get our dryad bat. No, we won't. We'll get our, where are you? Rhinox hide. And mix that in. Make a nice golden brown colour. And that we can use for our leather. So boots can be done. This, I'm assuming, is a leather strap. Can be done. Gloves as well can be done. Make sure I get the fingers. I want to do that area as well. I'm not going to do the hair with this colour. I want to do something different with that. But I do want to do, as I say, just leather. For the time being. Okay, that's that done. I'm trying to get the fingers, I'm not trying to get the oh, leather. His helmety thingy. Yeah, that's that done. What I want to now add to this mix is to make it just that little bit stranger colour is the fang, which we've seen before. This is going to change the flavour of it quite a bit, I'm hoping. And just dull it down somewhat so it's not as bright. Let's see if I can get a decent colour from it. And this is going to be his hair. Well, the fur, I'm saying his hair, I don't know whether it's his hair or it's like the top of a cape that's got fur, you know, like Her Majesty's ermine robes. There we are. Let's just change the colour a little, change the flavour so it does actually stand out from the leather. But what we want to do now is change it slightly more, just to highlight that a touch more, by adding some, I think I've added a bit too much, but never mind. Oh, that could work, could be alright. And just going over the top parts. That's there. I will do down here as well with this colour, because when we come to highlight this part we'll do it with a much paler colour again, so it doesn't look as though it's the same. Okay. Because you don't want them looking pristine, you don't want them looking as though they're straight out of Littlewoods catalogue or whatever. You want them looking as though they've been through the war, they're a bit grimy, a bit grubby. You know, that kind of thing works well. And we're going to be using Administratum Grey just for the fur. I'm thinking it's fur, whatever it may be, at the bottom here. Whereas I was going to be using a slightly light paler colour. There we are. Slightly paler colour there, and we'll just add to it there. Okay, that's that done. It just adds that little something to it. Don't know what, but it adds something to it. As the story goes. Anyway, I digress. Let us go now with back to old favourite bullgum metal, or its modern equivalent lead belcher, I think it's called. If you wonder what the rattling is, it's my bracelets. Okay, so let's make a start on these. Every piece of armour, whatever looks like metal, or what looks like it could be metal, whatever we've done with the tin bits, gets a blasting with this as well, all over. We can and will be going over again with different metallic colours, but for now I'll just be going over all the original bits of metal with this colour. Not, unfortunately, as heavy-handed as I just did then. We want the tin bits to show through. There we are. That's that done, and now the shield. We're going to do this a little differently than usual, because usually the shields we've had have been quite flat and one-dimensional. This is going to be quite three-dimensional, so we're going to be using different colours of metal. Different metallic colours rather on this, just to pick them out. You may even decide that you want to do them more coloured. You can do a metallic green or metallic blue, that kind of thing, depending on what race you're doing. I wouldn't really recommend it for this. I would stick with the basic metallic colours. Try and keep it as dull as possible. Don't. I mean, we could get away with that, really, but that actually looks fine as is now, doesn't it? That eye needs to be darkened a bit, so I'll put some more Agrex Earthshade over that. But as you can see, that looks quite grotty. It looks as though he's just not, what's the word I'm looking for? He's not been looking after his equipment and too busy bashing people over the head with his sword, or with his shield, rather than actually taking care of what he's wearing. But that's orkiness for you. Okay, that's that bit done. As I said, I'm not quite happy with the way his eye is, so I'm going to get the old favourite of Agrex Earthshade back on his face again. Still not sticking in there, so I may have to go and do what I don't like doing, as you well know, which is actually paint his eyes in. Okay, so next step, all the metallics that we've just done with the bubblegum metal should be dry by now. So what we're going to add is, when I've shaken it up enough to mix all the colours together, and the pigments and the everything else, I'm going to use Hashut's copper, and I'm going to do that all the way around the edge. And the reason I'm doing it all the way around the edge is because I'm going to add a touch of the verdigris effect to this. Not much, because it'll kill it completely, but just enough to make it look like an old piece of equipment that's either used more for ceremonial stuff rather than actual battle. I mean, I might be wrong in doing that, but he's a cleric, he's not... Oh, I don't know as to whether or not you could class him as a warrior as well, but he only seems to be carrying a spear that again looks more ceremonial than anything else. I don't exactly know what the how the orc race in D&D is, how it's structured, but I've decided I'm going to do it this way, so that's the way I'm going to do it. Okay, so we're going to have copper there. We'll have the main part of the star icon on the shield. What colour? The colour that it is now. And then we'll go for dwarf bronze to add a little more distinct colour into certain parts of the shield, and as I say, not everywhere. Oh yeah. So I know it will be for protection as well, and it looks as though it's been bashed about, but I'm just wondering whether it's more, it could be mainly used for ceremonial stuff, but we're going to do it that way. So the main colour is going to be the tin bits covered in the Ujima Flippity Gibbet, what's it called? Bubblegum metal. Okay, the next thing we're going to have is, using the dwarf bronze again, we'll go over the centre of the knee guards. That's one. And two. We'll also do the lumpy bits on his shoulders. Like so. I'll also do the edging of this shoulder arm. And I think that is all I'm going to do for the armour. I think I might do that bit there and this. There we go. Hoping that looks okay to you. What I want to do now is just that centered jewel in his shield, which I'm going to use MacLeod red, and I'm going to be going over this with PVA glue when it's all dry. Just this red, nothing. I'm not going to be going over the whole model with it because I don't want it looking shiny, but this jewel is going to look, I do want it to look shiny. So I'm going to do that in MacLeod red, and then I'm going to use blood red and blazing orange to add just a touch of highlight to that. Get the blood red out, and I hope you can see that. It's only very subtle, but it does the job, especially in the second when I put blazing orange over the top of it. I don't want to use anything lighter than blazing orange because that would just be too much, but just a dollop of blazing orange on the top. And dollop is a technical term, and it's the technical term for a splodge of something. Yeah, you just put a little bit on. A dollop is just a, I know what I mean. Okay, so I've had a look at that face again, and the eye is pale. So what I'm going to use is Screaming Skull, and I'm just going to go with my fine detail brush and the Screaming Skull and just do a little splodge there. I'm not quite sure whether that thing is going over his eye like an eye patch, or whether it's going under his eye. I can't quite tell. I think it's actually going over his eye as an eye patch, so I may leave that as is. So as you can see, I've just done a little bit there in the corner of his eye. I think I've not done anything at the front, so it looks as though his eyeball is at the front and he's looking at you. At least I'm hoping that's how it looks, because if it doesn't, yeah, right. Okay. Next, what I want to do is the design on this here, the V. That on the original one was red, and I'm going to do it red again to match the jewel that's in his shield. So it's a V, and I don't know whether there's any specific colour or whatever that Gruumsh is linked to, or is linked, or rather is linked to Gruumsh, but I've seen red on the original picture, so that's what I'm doing. And I am not, no matter what I actually find out, I'm not actually going to remember a lot of it. It's just I'm going to have to keep being reminded about this, that and the other with it. But I hope you'll be very patient with me with doing these, or with learning this game and trying to find out the different things about the lore and the races and everything else with Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, now I said I wanted to do the we call it a bit of verdigris effect. Well, as I said, it's just going to be a very small amount, and it's going to be just splattered about here and there. No big deal. Just a little bit. I don't want anything too heavy on it. Our copy usually gets full of verdigris, but it takes its time to spread, and if he's cleaned this in some way, which to be honest I wouldn't imagine an orc doing, but that may just be because my experience of orcs is 40k and they're not ones for looking after the equipment, the basic scavengers. There we are. And this colour I forgot to mention, which I've used before, so I use this for painting the wings of the copper dragon in what's the name of the thing? The Heart of Cormia. I painted the copper dragon wings with this. The colour is Sotek Green. And there's the... It looks blue, but it's actually a green colour. And there's the shield. There's the orc cleric. And there's another video over and done with. So until next time, take care, God bless, and bye for now.